Hey, 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 good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, you see the title. You saw the title. We are about to review Bad Boys Ride or Die. Now, this is going to be a spoiler ish review. I want you all to go out to the movies and see it. I just want to be able to encourage you why I enjoyed this particular show. Again, housekeeping, please like this video, give it a up. And if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. Once you subscribe, you'll be open to a plethora of movies and television series that I have reviewed, and also to my pop culture chats. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, if you are not familiar with this franchise, you have Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, who are the main characters in this franchise. Will is Mark Lowry, and Martin Lawrence is Marcus Burnett. All right, so they have been partners forever. Right. So you saw in the last iteration of Bad Boys that their captain was killed. And I'm not going to go back over and rehash Bad Boys 3, as I'm calling it. I know it's called something Bad Boys for Life. I'm not going to rehash that. However, so we're in this situation right now where we see both Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett going through a lot of life changes because these young men are older. They're in their 50s now. They're no longer in their their mid 30s, running around here like they did in the very first iteration of Bad Boys. So they have moved into the second phase of their lives. They're getting older. They're getting close to retirement ages. A whole lot of things are going on. So we learned in the last iteration of Bad Boys that Mike Lowry, because I'm gonna say it like Martin says it all the time. So we understand that he has a son. This son is in prison. So in this iteration, we find that the bad boys who were normally looked at as the good guys, but doing a whole lot of extra stuff to get the job done. We're starting to see now that they're fugitives on the run. So here's the spoilerish thing of it. We find that, the captain is dead. He's been dead. And then you have someone who is trying to frame the captain and then thus frame other people within the department because there's investigation, frame other people in the department. Now, I will talk about that as a plot point later, but this is what starts this whole thing because Mike and Marcus are wanting to clear the captain's name. Now you have the captain's daughter who is very up, she's still, because of the fact that her father held Mike and Marcus in such high revere, she's still upset with the fact about Mike Lowry's son killing her father. So she has all of this stuff going on with her. So we basically see their captain is being framed. They're trying to investigate why their captain is being framed. Who would frame the captain because they know that he was above board. And so they're having to dig into the cartels, they're having to dig into the government, and they're having to dig into all of these little different things to figure out what's going on. And as information starts pulling in, they start to realize that people who are around them and people who are close to other people are the people that are causing these problems. All right. We do see and so they go through this whole fight scene, chase scene, shootout scenes, and all those other things. Okay. So, what did I like about this movie? Number one, and I've said this since Bad Boys started, the synergy, the energy, and the camaraderie between Will Smith and Martin Lawrence cannot be matched. These two people are comedians, rapper turned into comedian, and then you have a stand-up comedian into a movie star, an actor. These two were the masters of their craft in the 90s. If you watched Martin, because it's like people try to flip whether or not which one was better, Martin or the Fresh Prince, Martin or the Fresh Prince. They just sit there like this. I mean, they sit here like this because each one of them has have great quotables. Each one of those shows have great episodes. There's a certain episode, if you talk about Martin, there's an episode in Martin that everybody likes, or a character or something like that that everybody likes, like, Brother Man from the Fifth Flow. When you talk about uh, uh the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, you have great characters that are in there, from the butler to Carlton, to Uncle Phil, who was a great and beloved character within that whole. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Uh, in that franchise, so there's just so many different things. But to put these two people together, and I remember back in the day when they were like, "Oh, they're going to try to upstage each other. They don't, and all this other stuff." And you see these two people get together and make magic happen, because not only was it funny, it was action packed, and the acting was great. And there was no difference here. The synergy with them two people, first of all, in the real world, with them two uh, being great actors, being great comedians, um, in their own right, beautiful. To see their synergy as partners on the job, great. To see their synergy as far as being best friends, wonderful. And also, I noticed here too, to see them navigate fatherhood, even though each one of them came into fatherhood a different way. To see them navigate fatherhood, great thing, absolutely great. So I highly enjoyed that for that. Um, uh, Mike Lowry's son, he was a cutie patootie. I'm just gonna tell you, that was a handsome young man, and I look forward to seeing him in other things too. But he was a very handsome man. He gives me like Shamar Moore back in the day. He gave me that kind of vibe, but he had it wasn't overstated. Sometimes Shamar Moore likes to do. He be team too damn much. He does too much. He's overacting sometimes, but this young man did a good job. I liked how they had their core group of people that they could trust to do certain things. Even though somebody infiltrated the core, I did like that core group of thing, a core group, and how they played off each other. Everybody had their own little skills. Everybody respected their own little skills. All those little different things happen. Uh, I also liked, they had a lot of visual eye candy. Now, I'm telling you now, I'm coming from this as a woman. They had a lot of visual eye candy. You just do not know how happy I was to see McDreamy up there being the villain. I was like, oh, I know he gonna die, but he looking good. What he doing? Sorry, these are my reviews. So I do like the story. I do like like I said, they found themselves on the opposite side of the law, trying to clear their captain. I did hate to see a couple of beloved characters bite the dust. Okay, I really do hate to see a couple of beloved, John Sally's character. I really hated to see him. I really hated to see him go. I thought he was always just a really great. But they introduced some other different characters that I think um, that were good. I will tell you this: I am trying to find this young man. When I find him, let me tell you who had the biggest glow up. All I'm gonna tell you is this: when Reggie comes to the grill and he wants to grill his chicken, I don't want anybody to get in his way. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna get y'all to go to that movie. That is all I'm gonna say. And if you're not familiar with Reggie, remember when Marcus's daughter had the date, and little Reggie came to the door, and how they clowned old little Reggie. All I'm gonna say is this: y'all gonna let Reggie cook that chicken. He gonna grill the chicken. He can grill. He will grill and do whatever it is he wants to be able to do. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? All right. What didn't I like about it? I just thought they introduced too many characters that to me didn't, like there was a FBI agent. I guess he had to be the head agent in charge. He came across bleh. I didn't like how the captain's daughter came across. She was just too ham-fisted for me, and she was always arriving 10 minutes too late. She had all of this stuff and what she was going to do and all this other stuff, but she was always arriving 10 minutes too late. I didn't understand why her daughter was in places to me that she should not have been. I don't understand. It wasn't really necessary. I think the person that was closest to Mike Lowry would have continued the stakes for it without the younger, because I didn't know how old she was. She seemed to be very young, and I just didn't understand why she was in situations, because I couldn't grasp if she was like a 16-year-old teenager or a 19-year-old teenager. Was she in college or anything? I really couldn't grasp that. But I just felt like it was unnecessary for her to be there. She did not need to be in that danger, and maybe she needed to be there because her mother was a marshal, and those stakes, she'd had to have some stakes to be able to soften up at the end. Okay. um I'm just trying to think. I don't know how I felt about the beginning with the outer body experiences and all of that other stuff. I think that that could have been done without all of that flowery stuff that was added, but it did give kind of a levity to the situation that Marcus has found himself in. It did bring a little levity to it, even though it was a very heavy, serious situation. It did give a little levity. So it, I'm just on the fence with that. I mean, I think they could have done it without that, but I think because of the way that they didn't want to make this a heavy situation, and also for us to see why he was doing what he was doing after such a horrific uh, uh, event, and how we got, how we initially got to certain points and things like that. I can understand it, but I just didn't like that whole thing. And it's going to come at the beginning. And you all let me know down in the comments what you thought about that. Probably like the first 5, 10, 15 minutes of the show, um, when Marcus had his event. From that point until he woke up, y'all let me know what y'all thought about that. Overall, let me tell y'all something. For all those critics that was trying to make it seem like they were going to cancel Will Smith, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He did well in this show. The theater that I was in was packed. I mean, it was packed to the point people were fussing and cussing about seats, because the theater that I go to, when they have big blockbusters like this, everyone has an assigned seat, and then they have some seats that are premium seats that cost more than any other seats for whatever reason. But they was up there fussing till the ushers had to come in and get the people, get the people in the right seat. They knew better than that. People just do way too much. And this and then it starts to happen right at the beginning of the movie. As the intros and stuff like that is coming on. So the person who was in the wrong seat, she ended up leaving and going to the proper seat that she was supposed to go to. So that's my spoilerish review. Here's what I would say: y'all go see the movie. Y'all can go see the movie. There is no canceling of Will Smith. If you are upset about the slap that was seen around the world, I understand. I understand. However, the movie was great. He apologized, mea culpa, all that other stuff. Chris Rock didn't press charges. Everything is pretty, everybody got their jokes, everybody got their stuff out. Uh, and people are moving on. For those of you all that can't move on, don't go see the movie, but it was a good movie. Out of 5 stars, I'm going to give Bad Boys Ride or Die. I'm going to give that 4 stars out of 5. I thought it was good. It kept my attention from the beginning to the end, from the eye candy, from the people who were playing in the movie, from the good-looking men that were playing in the movie, from the comedy. It wasn't ham-fisted. It wasn't they These two gentlemen know how to push that comedy in there to where it's not it seems natural, like naturally they'd have this kind of comedy. The drama and the stakes were high. There was a lot of action. Uh, I will tell you, the plane scene, the helicopter scene had. I was having palpitations because it was making me so nervous. It was just too much going on at one time. But anyway, 4 stars out of 5. Y'all leave your comments below. Have you gone to see Bad Boys? Tell me what you thought of the movie. Put it down and below. Is there something that you want to talk about that I missed? Let's talk about it down in the comments. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, again, comment, and subscribe. All right. Please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell your coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, child. And as always, people, bye bye.